I'm gonna show you something beautiful. Everyone screaming for mercy. You want to protect the world, but you don't want it to change. You're all puppets, tangled in strings.
What up? It's your boy Marco from Upside Down Studios. It is What the Fuck Wednesday. I'm down in this motherfucker with Corey Colbang.
Yep, I'm here. In and out.
Motherfucking Greg in the background.
Always here. In and out.
Yeah. And we here with the motherfucking, with the dogs.
The diggity dogs.
Shout out to all our new listeners, all our new likes and all that shit. And we got any announcements or anything?
Not at the moment.
I'm waiting to hear back from Paul about our Balls Out show. You know, we're talking about it because it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. No other announcements or nothing? Didn't you say Don Cody yesterday? You said he's starting.
No, he's talking about getting into it. We're not too sure yet, but we'll definitely be getting a hold of people if so, because we're gonna need actors and all that. So.
Okay.
Good shit right there.
Yeah, little movie, little hood movie. No, that's how it probably
You're like,
gonna be.
I got the hook up. Holla if you hear me.
Hey, the second one wasn't too bad of that.
Oh, man.
Well, shit, you brought it up. I'm just telling you.
This hook is good.
No, ain't that good. It's a fucking masterpiece film. Ain't like Spielberg did it.
Can you imagine if Spielberg did it?
I got the hook up.
Passing the hood with lightsabers.
Everything.
They'd be selling Carillion crystals on the end of the block.
Hit this, you get this shit.
The hoes would have like 8 eyes and 4 legs and shit. Where are my bitches? Where are my bitches? Oh shit. Alright, so ain't very much in the politics way so far. You know, the only thing that I really see, well actually, I don't know if you want to call this politics. I think this is going to be another, what they call it with Julian Assange. When he let all that shit out. WikiLeaks.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and I didn't get to see any of it or didn't catch it because I guess it just happened. Barack Obama, Bill Gates, those are the two main ones I remember off rip. But like Joe Biden, a whole shitload of them people, and it's really odd because those are the people that are supposedly in the Illuminati type shit. And like a handful of other like high profile people, all they shit got hacked. All of it.
Good.
So there's gonna be some shit coming out. Oh my God. There is gonna be some shit coming out. At least I hope so. Oh, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be motherfucking good. And you know what? As far as that goes, I think Julian Assange got the shit under the stick on that deal. I mean, and then for the people to be pissed at Roger Stone for being involved with that. Again, I mean, Greg, you're not a political man, so just as an outside, look at this situation. Okay. Now you got one dude who stole some information, and he put it online for everybody to see.
Okay.
Now one dude is a friend. Say like, I found out about all this shit. You're running for president, so I tell you about this. So you talk about it on the news. Now, it's all the truth, and it's all shit that we needed to hear. And you didn't lie about it. You put it out there just the way the country, because the country knew before you. How is the guy who let out the information a bad guy? And how are you liable for fucking prison because you talked about it? Or I talked about it, and I told you. Because that's what Roger Stone found out about the WikiLeaks. He wasn't a part of the WikiLeaks. He found out about the WikiLeaks just like everybody else. That shit was public knowledge.
Yeah.
And he told Trump while Trump was doing his campaign, because Trump didn't know shit about no WikiLeaks.
Me either, so what is it?
So he told fucking Trump, WikiLeaks was like, they dumped all kind of government classified information. And it was all about fucking Hillary Clinton, and I think there was some shit about Obama in there, and there was shit about Podesta and his hard drives, which his hard drives had shit about not only these pedophile trafficking, but aliens too. That's some shit that nobody wants to talk about. Because don't you remember when Hillary Clinton was running for president, she said, if she becomes president, she was going to let out all the shit about Area 51 and the aliens and everything. That was the one thing that had me kind of looking at Hillary Clinton. That was it. And you know why? Because that cunt knows all about that shit.
They almost voted for it, didn't
They
you?
won't give Trump that information. I believe that he already tried to get that information, and they ain't giving it to Trump because they know Trump can't keep his mouth shut.
Well, you want to make a space force, and they on board. There got to be
That's
something
another thing.
going on.
Again, unless there is some shit going on in space, Trump. It all sounds like Trump's wacky idea, but there got to be a lot of people backing him for that to be able to go through.
Yeah, because you vote on everything that goes through.
Right. So, and that's Democrats, and the Democrats have the House. So basically, Congress, the Democrats, Nancy Pelosi and Schumer, as much as they talk shit about this, they approve this. They approve it. So, what the fuck is going on in space right now? They're not telling us that. I feel like, that we getting all this, like the Black Lives Matter thing just lasted, a few weeks. We got a couple months out of that. The pandemic got a couple months out of that. Nothing is sticking. So now we got Jada and Will. And
that shit 4 years old.
Yeah, but it's just coming out now. That doesn't ring a bell, man? I mean, I'm all about conspiracies, but that's like fucking, hey, wait a minute.
Made you forget about it for a second.
They just brought this shit up from 4 years ago, making it sound like it's fresh. They are covering something up. There's just too much. They said the plague was in squirrels. Come on.
Yeah, I seen that earlier. You posted that.
The plague is in squirrels. You gonna tell me they ain't trying to come up with anything and everything now to cover some shit up? And then you notice, like this is really kind of weird that nobody's really putting two and two together with, you know, now this Griselle chick or the Epstein girlfriend, she pled not guilty. I don't know where they're gonna have her now. They had her in like some shitty ass fucking hole in the wall that was known for being like rapes and murders in. You know, they were. I mean, they just put it out there. They were like, "Look, we ain't."
They put her in there to scare her a little bit to make her snitch.
Well, not. I think they put her in there just to let the world know. Look, this bitch ain't talking. Don't get your hopes up.
She talking after that?
No,
Get out of that motherfucker.
Yeah, but I don't think she's out on bail. I don't think they gave her bail. She just pled not guilty. That's all I got from that. You know, I'm sure there's more into it. I got to look into it. But you know, since that chick done got arrested or turned herself in or whatever, we done had two of the Glee girls.
The Glee?
Just magically disappear in a boat in some water with the kids.
The WB?
The kids popped up. You know, the kids were still alive on the boats. Mama's gone. Gone! I don't think they found the first one. The second one they just found. She drowned. Little boy said his mama went in the water and never came back up. They found him 5 days later on the boat.
Hungry as fuck.
He probably ate his mama.
What the fuck?
Nah, it was.
I come out of nowhere.
I think it was like one of them yacht type boats, so there's probably some grub or something. That kid was fat on some caviar or some shit like that.
Yeah. That sounds a little more realistic.
You know, and then like there's a lot of celebrities that just, you know, they was all over the media during this pandemic, and they was doing all these at-home shows and this and that, and everything quiet. You know, nobody know where Tom Hanks is. No, you know, here and there there's pop-ups about him. And you know, if you look on like Snopes or whatever, and you say they're a conspiracy, you know, they all say no, this is not true, and Tom Hanks is this and that. Like Oprah in the fucking, you know, the ankle bracelet. You know, we don't hear too much of Oprah running her mouth, cause you know.
Was she on house arrest?
Yeah, supposedly, she says no, but just think about this. With everything that's been going on right now, with the whole Black Lives Matter, with this whole Epstein thing, with you know, all this shit, even the reparations and all that. Oprah ain't got, even with Will Smith, you know, Oprah would have Will Smith on, either Oprah or Jada would be on her show.
I think she already had him on fucking when they separated 4 years ago.
No, I'm talking, they just peeled the scab. They just peeled the scab.
Yeah,
this is fresh again.
Yeah.
This is fresh again. So you know, Ellen ain't, you know, because I think Ellen would have Jada on and Oprah would have Will on.
I think it'd be the opposite way around.
You gonna tell me Oprah wouldn't have her hand in that shit? She was all over the Me Too shit. She was all over that. She was all over all the anti-Trump shit, all that, all over that. All of a sudden, gone. Where Oprah? I mean, I could be wrong.
Sitting in her mansion counting her money.
I could be wrong, but, you know, it really sounds real funny. And then, like, I thought this was some real conspiracy bullshit back in the day. This was, like, 3 years ago when I heard about this, and then it just got quiet. They was talking about they was going to start gathering up all these pedophiles or whatever, and it has something more to do besides pedophilia and kid trafficking. But they was going to start gathering them up into Guantanamo Bay and start having military trials. And then, you know, they were going to start executing some of these people.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you can't do that. Well, you couldn't do that back then. You know, it was against the law to execute people. You know, especially during the military thing like that, like Americans or whatever. Mm-hmm. And Guantanamo, they wanted to use Guantanamo because it's an out-of-the-country type deal. Yeah. But it was closed up for the longest time because of that whole, you know, when they was taking pictures of the sand people doing, like, Cubert type shit. So, you know, at the time, you're like, nigga, this shit can't happen. So within the past, going on 4 years, Guantanamo Bay is up and running again.
Okay.
It is now legal for military execution. Just got passed.
Okay.
It's federal execution for federal crimes. So, I mean, it's a military-style tribunal, but it's a federal crime. So you don't have to be like a terrorist or anything like that. It could be the shit going on like with these pedophiles and trafficking and all that shit.
Yeah.
And now we got all these motherfucking celebrities just either coming up dead or just disappearing. Everybody, Trump is talking about he's going to he's letting out everything, and he's steady telling people there's a swamp and there's bad shit going on up in the hill, and everybody's like, yeah, no shit. But I mean, he's trying to be like, look, it's right here. It's here. God damn it. I mean, y'all smell the shit. You're standing next to the shit, but you refuse to look down and pick the shit up.
Mm-hmm.
And then you want to blame me for shitting on the lawn. That's exactly what this whole presidency is about. He's like, hey, yes, America stinks. You're standing in shit. Pick it up. I'll pick it up for you. And what they do, they got mad that he picked it up and said he was the one who shit in the yard.
Yep, it's usually how it goes.
I mean, what the fuck? And I mean, that ain't a Democrat thing. That ain't a Republican thing. Donald Trump has become the biggest scapegoat since fucking Bill Clinton. or even way back to Richard Nixon. Because Richard Nixon, if you really, really look into that, Tricky Dick got fucked over. Tricky Dick got fucked over pretty bad. That's why he didn't spend no prison time, because the world didn't know at the time. We didn't have all this information. But the media and the government knew that was all the Kennedys. That was all the fucking Kennedys, and nobody can say shit about the Kennedys. The Kennedys are the Clintons of that day.
Yep.
Shit, JFK fucked over Nixon pretty fucking well. And he was one to give the fuckery over to people too. And they already said who. And that was another thing. I brought this up a couple times. When we were growing up, the Nixon assassination, or not the Nixon, the Kennedy assassination was like the biggest conspiracy. That was bigger than Elvis. That was bigger than Pac and Biggie. That was solved, right? You remember? Yeah, that was solved.
And
it came out. It was out for like maybe 2-3 days. Trump had the FOIA papers, passed through whatever. They let it out. It was no big fucking conspiracy. It was no big, this and that. His vice president had him killed because he didn't like him. Now, they didn't say, well, that was in the papers. Now, I'm sure there's other paperwork stating motives and all that shit, and I'm surprised nobody done came out with a book with that yet.
But give it time.
You don't... Dude, it's been fucking 3 years.
Yeah.
That was one of the first things he did. People are still like, I bet you the guy in the grassy knoll was this person. No, bitch, they already fucking said who this shit was. It wasn't the gay guys. It wasn't the Cubans. It wasn't the dumb Secret Service agent who fucking tripped and fucking shot Kennedy in the back of the head. It wasn't the Mandela effect where the fucking wife shot him in the face. It was Lee Harvey, and his dumb ass was fucking paid by certain people from down the line, but ultimately it was the vice president. I mean, it was just like that. It was just, yeah. I mean, there was no big hoopla or whatever the fuck it was. It was. I mean, I'm not taking away from that situation. It's still a fucked up situation, but. For something that would be like, for right now, Tupac came on fucking Oprah show and talked about his last album. Didn't say shit about him being gone. Didn't say shit about him being shot. Didn't say shit about anything that night. He just talked about his last album and ended the show. And that was it.
That'd be some shit. I would respect that.
That's like, and then, nobody gave a fuck. They just wrote about it. No, nigga, what the fuck? That was my whole childhood right there, Rip Biggie. You know how many tears Trench and Scarface then dropped on albums, nigga, shit? How many 40s was tipped to Tupac? We can't at least know where you was at, motherfucker. Damn.
Yeah, I would still respect that though. Just come out, just like fuck it. I ain't telling y'all shit. I'm telling you about this, and I'm leaving.
Oh my god, that's just fucked up. So, dude, did you watch the video with Will and Jada? The whole fucking
No, because I don't care. All I got was the entanglement part, and I was done.
Dude, she pretty much twisted this whole situation to make. I mean, Will said they was broke up or whatever, but you can see it in his face. He was just, he was trying to be the bigger man. You can see that. But dude, you can see it. Like you can see like that. It was just like in that comedy clip that I shared, where he had that look like he was like just about ready to cry.
Mm-hmm.
And he kept it well. You know what I'm saying? But this fucking cunt, man.
Mm-hmm.
She was fucking mid-50s, some shit like that. Kid was 23 years old. So that means, and he was around for a long minute. She tries to make it sound like that was just her friend. Nah, this kid was a kid that they took in and helped the fuck out. This ungrateful piece of shit.
Yeah.
Because I ain't just gonna put it all on Jada, because nigga, you knew what the fuck you was doing. This wasn't like you just met this woman.
Yeah.
And Will was like, when he first came around, he was really sick, and we helped him out and this and that. And she was like, I've just been feeling bad inside for a really long time, and it felt good to make somebody else feel good, and I needed to feel good. Bitch! And then my dude Ryan, he was like, yeah, if a man were to say that to a woman, there's very rare that gonna work out in his favor.
That's what I said last night.
That's very, very, very. What the?
It's like I said last night. She's getting all these women and people saying, oh, she had to find her inner peace, she had to find her love, this and that. But if you would have turned it around on the other foot, Will would have been a fucking pedophile, a big fucking cheater, and a fucking liar. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But as long as it's a man getting fucked, who cares, right?
Man. And like I said on the last show, Will is a greater man than I. I don't believe putting my hands on a woman, but I'd have bitch smacked that shit like she rubbed the lamp on the fucking genie popped out. On national television, bitch, it's bad enough this little punk is gonna run his fucking mouth to the fucking world. Now on national television, that wasn't even television. That was the internet. That goes beyond national television.
Mm-hmm.
That is going to be there forever. The only people that can get rid of that shit is the government. And they ain't. Not at all.
Nope.
Forever. You going to put that out there like that? Motherfucking America's big brother. Because, suck it up, motherfuckers. Bill Cosby was America's dad forever. Forever. And now, he might have fucked up and he ain't that no more. But Will Smith was America's big brother. Wasn't no kid, black, white, Hispanic, nobody didn't watch fucking Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Nobody, there wasn't a motherfucker in the world who wasn't pissed off when they changed Aunt Viv.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, oh my God.
The world's going to shit, Marco.
Dude, it's been. Oh my God. And then just the look in his face, man, makes you want to punch that bitch in the mouth.
He should have.
And then the look in her face makes you want to piss on her when she's on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Because she had that, I don't give a fuck, I'ma do what I do. And then she talked about, she let somebody break her back out in front of Will. And Fitty was right. I mean, he shouldn't have said what he said, but Fitty was right. You gonna let... Hey, why she... Man.
Trifling.
Will Smith, I lost a lot of it for him because of the whole, because I just grew out of his music. He was little kid type music or whatever. He was an alright actor, but I had all the respect for him for a long minute, but...
Yeah, because he just said in his last song that he just did recently, He said that, you know, he sold millions of albums, sold out fucking concert halls, everything else. He said he did all that shit before Spotify, YouTube, and all that shit. You know what I mean? Which that's, you think about that.
Yeah. I mean, Will Smith was America's big brother, man.
Mm-hmm.
And now, you know, to kick America's big brother in the nuts like that, and for these fucking, I don't even know what to call it, to be defending her. And she sit there like she ain't did nothing wrong. Man.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, why you put, you know, why our business got to be out on Facebook? Why you putting my shit out there, bitch? You know, you could have at least talked about it and said, you know, change the names to protect the innocent or whatever the fuck. Mm-hmm. No, you dirty cunt, you fucking sat. Are you out of your fucking shit? What the hell is wrong with you? Oh my god. Oh my god. And then I guess that was pretty loud, huh? Burped in the microphone. So I don't know, man. I can't have. And then they brought up the shit with Pac. How you gonna bring up the shit with Pac? How you gonna bring up the shit with Pac?
People are stupid, man. Stupid.
You know, that was, you know, after you kicked America's big brother in the nuts, that was looking at his balls and being like, oh, I didn't hit him hard enough. What?
Let me do it again.
Oh, Jesus. That's fucked up, yeah. I mean, I just...
Very.
And then, like, nobody has said, like, well, at least I haven't heard anything about the dude August or whatever the fuck his name is, you know, aside from him just coming out and talking about it initially. But nobody has said anything else about it. You know, I want to see, y'all want to do some round tables. I want to see a square fucking ring with motherfucking Will Smith and August.
Yeah.
You know, that little kid might be all cut up, but Will Smith done had to be pumped for a lot of them motherfucking movies he done did, and he done had to get pumped for that shit. He ain't small.
He ain't no slouch.
You know, and you just, man, shit, that's a bad boy's ass whooping. You have Martin Lawrence in the corner with the towel looking at you.
Talking shit.
And then the bad thing is, and Will Smith is trained in boxing too, because he played Ali. You know, they trained his ass for that shit. So, man.
About to get fucked up, little boy.
Oh my god.
You gonna learn today.
I think motherfucking Will Smith have knocked the dreads off that motherfucker. Woo. Oh. I don't know if Kat want to get in on this conversation.
Probably not, since she's hiding in the corner over there.
I don't understand. So we was talking about this whole Space Force thing, man.
Okay.
How something is going on in you know, the whole shit. And I don't know, maybe I'm just connecting too many dots or whatever. Maybe I just be too high or something. But I'm gonna end it. I'm gonna bring this down. Like, the tip of the pyramid is gonna be somewhere where I can't stand to have to go to, but it's gonna go to there. But all right, we're gonna connect the dots kind of from the bottom. We had this whole, well, even before it's supposedly coinciding at the same time, but we had this whole Pizzagate thing. You remember with the whole
I heard
Pizzagate
about
thing?
it, but I never got, like, behind the story of it. You know what I mean?
All right, supposedly there was this pizza shop. It was called Cosmic Pizza or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like this it looked like this kind of teeny bopperish type pizza joint on the top, but I guess it had a downstairs and stage and like a big place or whatever. Yeah. Well, not only did they have like supposedly fucked up rituals and shit, but like they had like fucked up like Rocky Horror Picture Show type plays and things like that, and then they also had a lot of pedophilia and shit there. And pretty much the thing was in the way you ordered your pizza. I don't remember exactly how it went, but like if you wanted pepperoni, you wanted a young little boy. If you wanted mushroom, you wanted a black girl. And it was all like, and then whatever else kind of code went into the age you wanted or whatever. Yeah. And then they brought you your pizza and your kid.
Well, see, I heard something about that Wayfair too. You hear anything about that yet?
I've been hearing bits and pieces. I haven't gotten a chance to look into it, but I hear it was a similar situation.
Yeah, basically you could buy it for like, dude. What I seen, they were showing pictures of like kids that came up missing, and then like cabinets and shit that were like $15,000, wooden cabinets, little. And it like would have the last name of the child and then say whatever size. It was weird, dude. Like if I see it again, I'll have to send it to you. It was fucked up.
That sounds real similar to the Pizzagate thing.
It basically is.
So now we look at that, and that involves a lot of high-end people. High-end people. I mean, and Will Smith, unfortunately, is one of them. Mm-hmm. So they go from that child trafficking to apparently the guy who was... They're saying he was the guy in charge, but if they're dropping everything on him, there was somebody else higher than him. He was... I think Epstein had a big chunk to do with it, but I believe he ran the car lot. He didn't own the car lot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He acted like the big baller, but... he went home in a bucket like everybody else. Mm-hmm. But, so Epstein was in charge of this island, and he's supposedly, him and this Giselle chick, were getting these young girls from all over the place and trafficking them.
We kind of grabbed her. You shower when we had them.
We're good.
So, that's part of, that's the whole thing there. Now, I've been watching different types of news, and there was one news channel with a chick who came up with a theory that it wasn't the Clintons that got rid of Epstein. It was, like, it had something to do with the president of Israel.
Oh, I thought it was. He must have been on one of them planes.
Maybe.
Israel, I believe it.
So now we swing it over to that way. Now, in the midst of this whole time frame, because that was just recently, in the midst of the original Pizzagate time frame when this shit supposedly started becoming to light, there was a dude named Gordy, something like that. If you look on, not Graham Hancock, the other Hancock, science fiction dude, he's usually on there with him. But he talks about, he swears up and down he was part of a space force that's been going on for a while, and that they've been taking kids from Earth to repopulate like Mars and shit like that. And
well, that would be a pretty cool idea, but I don't believe
kidnapping
it.
kids to repopulate Mars?
Well, I mean, taking kids to, not taking, but, taking people to repopulate.
People not going out there and kidnapping them.
Yeah.
But that could be something because all the missing kids that they never find.
Right.
People randomly.
So now we got this theory of these kids being abducted through Pizzagate. Pizzagate or the Cosmic Pizza is just like a leg of it. I believe Epstein's Island is another leg of it. So, and everybody's getting their piece, and they're sending them to another planet. So now we got Israel. We're speaking about. Now, I know there are different states or countries in that whole place, but they're all sand people when it comes down to it. We just had this whole Khashoggi murder of a reporter, and he was brutally murdered, and still, that got swept under the rug. I'm still pissed off about that. And it was still odd. Now, I just found out recently the Sand People are gonna put their first spaceship, rocket, whatever, in the air. Or they're going to the moon or some shit like that. So now we're gonna have the Sand People in the air with these little kids that were already tied to the Sand People. Now, to bring this shit full circle, if you look at any of this Illuminati type talk or conspiracy talk, the one thing that comes up the most, and I hate bringing it down to this. After this, we're gonna take a break.
All right.
What I hate for it to come down to the most is supposedly all these folks are reptilians. Or these reptilian shapeshifters. It came up with the Pizzagate, and they were doing rituals and all this shit like that, and drinking blood and this and that, and they were having parties with like effigies of people being dead, and they were cutting them up and eating them and shit. Where did the origins of the reptilian people first start? Down in the sand with all the sand people and all that shit.
Of course.
And supposedly they have ties to some space shit. So now we're looking at this big circle here. What if that's this is just a big fucking smuggling ring for people, and these alien reptiles are fucking doing it. and that's why Trump started the fucking Space Force. He's like, fuck this shit. Huh?
What was the name of the reptiles? The night you and Ricky was talking about them.
The Anunnaki?
Yeah.
No, that's Anunnaki is a generic name. Everybody likes to think Anunnaki were these reptiles. Anunnaki were the
fucking little rabbit things off of fucking the WB.
And
maniacs.
The Anunnaki were like Americans. America. We're all American, but there's Black Americans, there's White Americans, there's Native Americans. There's so. Like the Anunnaki were, some of them were like people with birds' heads, some of them people with cats' heads, some people dogs' heads, some were reptiles, some were giant humanoid people, some were really, really white.
We don't know that reptile people.
Yeah, so I mean, look at the hieroglyphics and shit in Egypt. There was Sekhmet. It was one of the Egyptian gods. He had a cat's head.
Yeah, but they bow to cats and shit though.
Yeah. Well, there's supposedly a race of aliens called the Lyrians that are like cat people. And supposedly, like, remember back in the day when they had that show Beauty and the Beast? And it was like the dude was actually he looked like a lion, like a lion, like he had the body of a man, yeah. And dude had the face of a lion. Well, they're trying to say that that's pretty much what these Lyrians look like. So I mean I don't know, because Anubis was a dog-headed god. I forget what the god was. It was the crocodile. Horus was I believe the god eagle or some shit like that. Or
like you have eagle, half fucking.
Had
like the devil talon and shit.
Seth was Seth I think was some kind of serpent, I believe. I don't remember. But I mean, there was a lot of they swore their gods look like this shit. You know what I'm saying? I believe
You think there's got 6 fucking arms or 8 arms?
No, that's in the Hindus. The Hindus, that was it Shiva? Was it Shiva?
What, the Indian or Indian?
Yeah, the Hindus. Yeah, the Hindus. The dot Indians.
Yeah. Red dot one.
Yeah, they got a lot. I mean, they had the Monkey King. But if you look into a lot of the Hindu Bibles and shit, the Mahabharata and the Rig Vedas and shit like that, they they kind of go hand in hand with the Sumerian text. That's why, there's one of the few things I kind of like, give some more reading to. The rest of this shit is horseshit. But they talk about the Vimanas, which are spaceships. They talk about, the first civilization of creatures that lived on Earth were not the humans. I mean, there were humans here, but there were the people lived with dinosaurs at one point. And there was like a big, there was a good culture, quite a few civilizations. And we were destroyed by a fucking nuclear war, dude. According to the Hindu text, there was a big war with the spaceships, and the Earth was destroyed by a nuclear fucking war. And there's certain spots that they pick out that their betas say that if you go there, there's like massive amounts of radiation and all this shit. Like the only amount.
I used to tell people never been or something. Like that.
Well, a lot of people. Well, they block them off now.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's places in Russia like that. There's places that.
That's like fucking the radiation thing.
Well, no, they're saying that it came from like before with us, our civilization, our people type. Yeah. They got into some shit. Their gods, which were just aliens, were fucking shit up. There was wars and shit. And I mean, if you look into the Sumerian texts, talk about the wars and stuff, but they make it seem more realistic, even though when it boils down to it, they tell you they're aliens and shit. But they make it sound like more biblical in the way the wars and the takeovers and the spread of the people were. Whereas, like the Rick Vedas and the Hindu shit, they just put it out there. There's a monkey god and there's a snake god and there's this one god Rama and there's one god Shiva and the one chick has 6 arms and there was a big fucking war and and Da Vinci is painting all that shit. All right, so let's take a break and we'll be back in about 10-15. Sound good?
Sound good to me.
All right, we'll be back, y'all.
freebeats.io. 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 Get this beat untagged for free at freebeats.io. 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 Get this beat untagged for free at freebeats.io. 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 Get this beat untagged for free at freebeats.io.
Download royalty-free beats at freebeats.io.
Freebeats.io. Freebeats.io. Freebeats.io. Freebeats.io. Get this beat untagged for free at freebeats.io.
Download royalty-free beats at freebeats.io.
We back on?
Mm-hmm.
So, as somebody who just sits back and listens to stuff is there any logic to what I just said about the whole trafficking, alien, reptile harvesting type deal?
I mean, yeah, there is, but
It's kind of a stretch, but
yeah, a little bit. You know what I mean? But
it's just really weird.
Anything's fucking possible, man.
And then, you know, like, you look at what the two supposedly strongest nations in the world are doing, which is Russia and America, and now the Sand People. But the Sand People are against, you know, there's a few allies in Russia, there's a few allies in America, but most of the time you hear about it, either America's bombing the sand or Russia's bombing the sand, you know? That's just the way it's always been.
Yeah.
Now, if you look into it, Putin, whether they're good or bad, Putin's anti-alien. And we're not talking Mexican. We're talking motherfucking, you know, he don't give a fuck if they're good or bad.
Yeah.
If they're green or black, you know. He don't give, according to all the conspiracy shit that I've read about Putin and the Russian alien shit and, you know, all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Putin is definitely, I mean, that's why he constantly is like fucking up the sand. Because apparently there's a bunch of, like, they call it a hive, but there's a hive of fucking, they're saying they're Anunnakis, but, you know, they're kind of classifying them as all reptiles. But, I mean, that's apparently where it all originated, was over there in the sand. So, I mean, then, you know, it was a few years back, Google fucking showed that aerial view, and it looked like there was a Millennium Falcon in the bottom of the water there.
Yeah.
And then over that place, like a couple years later, there's supposed to be like this portal that opened up above there, and like there was all kind of shit going on, and it's just like a little piece right there, like it was like, I forget what is that, the Black Sea maybe, or something like that. It separates the Sand People from the Africans.
Oh, I don't know.
Like the Somali thing, and that's where the pirates like always like to hit. But yeah, I mean, you know. Do research, people out there. Don't believe what I said. But it's out there. I mean, it's you'll be like, what? Wait, what are you talking about? Wait a minute.
I'm loud.
So, where we gonna go with this? I guess we could start with the shorter conversation. Kanye West has dropped out of the motherfucking presidency.
Oh, thank God.
What do you mean? I want to... Like I was telling you off air, I would love to see a debate with Donald Trump, Kanye West, and Joe Biden. Because I think Trump will start talking to Kanye like a New York landlord. Kanye is going to get old ghetto on both of them. And Biden's going to be lost. That is going to be one big ass SNL skit. Oh, I bet you that right there, that will be a ratings bonanza. And I mean, if you really look past Kanye's, I guess, up front in your face media and look behind the scenes, him and that Kardashian chick does a lot of good and a lot of charity work.
They do. They do that.
And they downed him for that shit. Like, when I first heard about it, him and Kim, is it Kim?
Kim Kardashian.
Yeah. They went to a prison or whatever, just you know, they was on the road and they stopped at a prison, and they went to church with the guys, and then they did, you know, like a whole, you know, he did some singing and shit, and they gave, I guess, they donated or whatever and helped out there at the prison.
They donate to the prisons in California.
Dude, they fucking made so much fun of Kanye and talked so much shit about, you know what, I never really liked Kanye. You know, Kanye was just... you know, he was just a moron.
That's about the only thing I like about Kanye.
But, you know what? The more and more I fucking...
The way he donates and helps out, fucking, you know what I mean?
You know, and the more and more I listen to him, the more and more... You know, he's saying the same thing I'm saying as far as conspiracy-wise and shit. And he's there. You know, everybody's listening to him like they listen to me, like, you're full of shit.
Marco.
That nigga there. He's there. He done seen if there's reptilians. He done seen if there's all kind of gay shit. He done seen, you know, who killing who or whatever. Just nobody's listening to his ass because he did that dumb shit with Taylor Swift.
No, I'm not listening to his dumb ass because he come out on stage in a tinfoil fucking outfit.
And you should see some of the designs for the
really, that's the reason why? These supermodels that came out in literal trash, they come out in saran wrap, they come out all that shit. But if he came out in a tin fucking full thing, he could have had some fucking, like, a fucking bulletproof vest under there. He just didn't want niggas to see.
No, dude, he come out there because he was worried about fucking some kind of aliens reading his body language or fucking
Did
something.
you see the fucking dude, the rappers in the dresses?
Yeah, he was one of them too.
Do I like any of them?
Kanye didn't wear no dress.
Yeah, he did.
No, Kanye didn't wear
I
no
can
dress.
fucking bring up a video right now.
Oh,
you
pull
better.
it up.
He a designer.
Pull it up. It was Puff Daddy.
No,
he
it's him too.
He designed it. He ain't wearing that
No,
shit.
he does. He wears his own. his
Pull it
shit.
up. Pull it up.
Picture it didn't happen.
I gotta see this because Kanye is so anti.
No.
that.
It's a motherfucking hoodie thing he had on that was a dress. I went all the way down to his knees.
I think maybe he wore some like kind of ritual type gown, maybe.
Well, I don't know,
Like
motherfucker.
kind of like a fucking Jedi type deal.
Yeah, that's what it fucking looked
He
like.
might have been part of some shit
yeah,
like that.
and he had his what the fuck do they call it? Yeezys on. And the Yeezys go all the way up
Well,
to
I
like
mean,
his
if he
kneecap.
came out in like a
fucking
Jedi
wrapped
robe,
up
that's a whole
with
big
like a
difference.
ball.
Like I didn't see motherfuckers today yesterday because I was doing that research for your show. I didn't see guys in dresses.
Yeah.
Like
Young Thug.
just they
They
came
wear
out of Oprah and was wearing a motherfucking dress, and Oprah was like, "Oh boy, you know you look so nice." And he got up. Who did? Omar Epps came out in a dress. I'm like, you killed you was on Juice. You killed Bishop.
Jamie Foxx did too.
Come on. But it wasn't no Kanye. Kanye's fucking big downfalls when he said he took the mic off of whoever was like, Beyonce is the best record player. Whatever the fuck
Yeah,
he said
he
about
said
Beyonce,
Beyonce. He said
but you
this
just
shit
cut
was
off the
Beyonce.
whitest girl in America.
Uh-huh.
You know, even if there was 1 or 0.1% racism in America, you just triggered it.
Right.
Right there. Right there. There could have been no black hate in the world except for like 5 people, and each and every one of them 5 people said, fuck you, all at once.
Yep.
and they control the world. Speaking of a big fuck you to somebody, we talked about this yesterday, and the universe caught up with his ass quick. This shit about Nick Cannon. Remember I posted that shit, Nick Cannon. And apparently that's 2 years old, supposedly now. But either way, it was still floating around. That's why I said, you put it out on the internet, it's there. It's there. No matter what you say, it's fucking there. If you did it 10 years ago, whoop, there goes your job. Happened to Gunn on the fucking Guardians of the Galaxy shit. They just brought him back. But, Nick Cannon fired like a motherfucker. He was working for Viacom for 20 years. He refused to apologize. They gave him a chance.
I read something up on about it or something too. He was saying he wasn't apologizing because he was the one that created the show and
Oh, he got all kind of shitty. Like he had some kind of clout. They said, do you know we're Jewish? I can see that. I can see that right now.
Yeah, I be losing internet down here.
Do you know you're Jewish?
that's
Or
why
do you know I'm Jewish?
fucked.
Do you know like we own your show? We could replace you quick with Will Smith. He's hurting right now. Topanga will be sucking Will Smith's dick. You know what I'm saying? Really? You're really?
Wow,
really?
I haven't heard her name since
Boy Meets World.
Machine Gun Kelly when he did I'm a Wild Boy. That's on in the video when he comes out of the apartment all fucked up and he's like talking and shit and he's like, man, was that Topanga?
But yeah, man. I don't believe this cat has became a social pariah. I mean, right there in Hollywood, right there. I mean, because I don't give a fuck. Come on, man. I mean, we got these little social injustices here and there, and back when we were growing up, what the fuck was a social injustice? You know what I'm saying? There was no social injustice when we were kids.
Yeah.
It was just like, we just dealt with it, man. We didn't whine about it. We just fucking dealt with it. And the people who couldn't became crackheads. That's the way of the world, man. I mean, Jesus Christ. But, this cat, I mean, it's just like the chicks with the Weinsteins. You can't tell me you didn't know you had to fuck a couple of old nasty motherfuckers to get you a good fucking spot in Hollywood. You can't tell me you didn't know that.
Mhm.
You don't fuck. You know, it's like I said. I'll say it a million times. This pack of cigarettes says all over it. It can kill me. It can kill my babies. It can give me cancer. I got no right to bitch. I got no right. I got no right to say a motherfucking thing. The sign is right there. We can say the Spanish peligro. We learned that shit on Sesame Street. You know damn well. When you call it a conspiracy or not, Hollywood is owned by the Jewish folks. And we don't know how. And it ain't, everybody gets that shit wrong. When they think, they say Jewish folks, and they think, the sand people. No. You can't take an American Jewish person over to Israel or any of them over there. Them motherfuckers will get shot. You live one of these little fucking missionary girls, these little Jewish missionary girls, go down to Yemen. Mm-hmm. Go anywhere near that motherfucker and they ain't dressed like a ninja. Shit. Them girls is either gonna get gang raped or she gonna be dressing like a ninja and then gang raped. Either way, she ain't coming back raped if she coming back at all. It's the Americanized Jews. It's the one with the little pigtails in their hair, and they wear the yarmulkes or the big fucking Amish people hats type deal. Mm-hmm. It's them type of Jewish folks.
Wow.
Big difference. It's like Africans and African Americans. Big motherfucking difference. Even though the African Americans want to claim the Africans do not want to claim the African Americans. And that's something that everybody seems to be like, oh, we didn't see that. That's another pile of dog shit that we smell, but we just don't see where it's at. It's right there at your feet. I mean, I don't get that. And then, did you hear this bullshit about North Carolina giving up reparations to black folks?
Not until you said something earlier.
First of all, I don't believe in that shit. Unless you are living a living slave. Or we'll even go down to your grandpa. We'll go as far back as your grandpa. I'll even give you great-grandpa. If your great-grandpa was a slave and they want to give out something, okay, I won't bitch. You get you something. You was a slave and you got to have proof of that shit. But come on, man. Ain't none of these motherfuckers. None of them. Owned slaves, were slaves, picked cotton. The only cotton they picked was out of the fucking medicine bottles from their free health care that they don't want to say that they get. Huh. None of them. But North Carolina was smart. Which, we're going to say how it works, but it's pretty much, it was just kind of a wordplay thing.
Yeah.
But they said it would be too hard to calculate how much money it would be to give out every person, a check or whatever. Mm-hmm. So they were just going to invest all the money that they, the amount of money that they're going to come up with into the black communities in North Carolina. Which sounds decent enough, but we all know how that goes. You're might get a shitty fucking park in the middle of the projects, but they ain't gonna fix up the projects. You might get a community center or some shit like that in the name of Martin Luther King or something like that. But you ain't gonna get nothing big. Which I believe, okay, if you're gonna do something with your black neighborhoods, fine. Okay, that's if you got to do the reparations thing, why not? But there's a couple catches here. First catch. Do you know where this money is coming from?
No.
Take a wild guess. What was the last big fucking hoo-ha in the fucking news?
Oh, that could be horrible. I don't know.
Defund the police. So, they're going to take the money from defunding the police and they're going to invest it in the black neighborhoods. Which also sounds okay on paper. But just think about that. You just took away a good chunk of the police officers. In that, you know where that money's coming from, right? That's going from retirement funds. That's going from pensions. That's going from health care. That's going, you know, for them little, they got to go through a psychiatric thing after they shoot somebody. You take, wait a second, you take all that away. Now there's no real incentive for the police officers. So the cops were saying, fuck it. So now the government done took money and gave you a couple statues in a building. You took away your cops. Now what happens? And the federal government already said they ain't giving money to help these fucking states that didn't get these riots under control, that just let that shit go. They already fucking told California no, they ain't giving them no money to help their shit rebuild. They told all the rest of these states, no, you let this shit go on, you let them destroy your state, you have to deal with it.
Okay, so but here's my question. Why are we always defunding the lower class, the lower everything? Why are we not hitting these bigger corporations for this shit? You understand what I'm saying? We're defunding the police, alright? So, any cop that you know, personally, is going to tell you they don't make fucking $100,000 a year.
No, they don't. They're not.
You understand what I'm saying? So, it's not like these cops are making good fucking money. You know what I mean? So now we're going to defund them, which you already know. The bottom man on the totem pole is always going to take the cut first. And guess who that is? The ones that are out in the fucking patrol cars.
Yeah.
And
then you're demoralizing these people. You're fucking taking their dignity. You're taking their kids can't even go to the school anymore because, as soon as they walk into school, oh, that's the cop's kid. You're gonna get that kid's gonna get his ass whipped, especially in a place like New York, New Jersey, someplace like that.
But that's going off the point of what I was saying. Is again, it's always the underclass. It's always retirement funds for the vets, funds for the homeless, and that's
who their beef is with. There wasn't no pharmacist putting their neck on George Floyd. It was a motherfucking cop. I can see if it was a pharmacist on his neck.
Then explain to me, what good is that doing?
None! Not at all! I love you, Greg! I love you! That was my motherfucking point! That was my point! Not a goddamn thing! You're making shit worse. Now, there was another talk about money. That the one dude said, well, we were supposed to get 40 acres and a mule, so why don't somebody calculate up how much 40 acres is and cut me a check? And, the one dude did the math, looked it up, and in some places it's only 14,000, and other places it's like almost $250,000. Just depends on where the acreage is or whatever.
Yeah.
All right.
No.
Why don't anybody? Here's the simplest point of this. We give out reparations. Say this right now. Every black person in 2020. If you were born in 2020 from January to motherfucking December 29th and 30th of this year, every black person gets a check, some kind of monetary, tangible reparations. First of all, goddamn well the argument ain't gonna be over with. Because, at that point, it's going to be just like when Obama became president. Look, he's president now. It's done. But no, it'll still get drug on. Somebody still keep trying to drudge that shit on. But not only that, but what happens if fucking maybe 5 generations down the road, them kids didn't get no reparations. Them kids were black. Them kids had the same ancestry and same history. So now they got to deal out reparations again. When does it ever stop?
Mm-hmm.
Another girl said, oh, well, then black folks should get free education. First of all, for how long? You know, if you want to say, like, again, like I said, if everybody in 2020 get free education or your shit gets taken care of, you got student loan, whatever, if that's going to end it, if that's going to end this bullshit and everybody's going to be equal, if it's that fucking easy, because that's what it seems like, this BLM and that other new one with the guys with the guns, you know, they want something tangible. They want money, they want land. Okay, if it's that fucking easy, what happens when we give it to you? Now you can't bitch. Now you can't moan. Now you can't nothing. That knee to the neck is no different than the knee to the neck to my motherfucking white friend. It's done. But it won't be like that. It won't fucking be like that. And that's what people don't fucking understand. You're pretty much enabling. This is the same thing Obama did when it made it easier to be on welfare than to work. To make it more profitable to be on welfare to work. And then he made it so good for the black folks because he let you be on welfare. What the fuck? We got white folks too proud to get their free health care that they say that doesn't exist. And we got black folks being told to live off the free shit of the land. When are we gonna wake up, people? Am I wrong? Am I tripping? I mean... And then, you know, even... There was no reparations. None. None! Now at least somebody making an effort. It may be a fucking, you know, like one of them little ploys for, you know, for the political ploy or just a little smoke street or whatever. But at least somebody's making a fucking effort! And it's still not good enough. And to this day, and it's getting worse and worse, you can't say a motherfucking thing except black folks or African American. You can't say no other name, but a Hispanic can be called a Cuban, a Honduran, a fucking Mexican, or whatever, and it's all laughed about and taken light. I experienced it tonight. I don't hold that shit over my head. And where'd it come from? Where did it fucking come from? Black folks! Ain't giving no Puerto Rican no reparations. You know, we held them slaves for a long time while the white folks came and picked them up. You know, that's another thing that nobody could explain to me again, even on the last show, why black folks hate white folks so fucking much. You know, once they got to America, you know, it's always the white man brought us to America. White man, no, the fuck they didn't. The fucking Spanish took the black folks to Puerto Rico. Well, Puerto Rico was a big port, but that was like one of the main ones. That's the one I know about. That's my shit. So, they was held there. That was room and board there. How do you think the Puerto Ricans came about? Nobody says nothing about the blacks taking the land, or the fucking British taking the land, or the Spanish, because the Spanish weren't Taino, taking the land. What about El Murro? Americans use that fucking shit, you know, that's a fucking, what the fuck is that? A fort on the corner of Puerto Rico. But still, you know, we get the shit out of the stick. We ain't getting no reparations. You know, they ain't sending no fucking batalillos or anything our way. You know, we still flooded in Puerto Rico. There's still fucking barely any power up in the hills of Puerto Rico. There's motherfuckers still living in corrugated metal houses in Puerto Rico. You know how I know? Because I have family there. You know, there's still corrupt government, which is supposedly an American government out there. All that shit. We ain't getting no reparations. We ain't getting no nothing. Anybody checked on them kids on the border? Anybody heard anything about them kids in the cages?
Nope.
Anything like that? I'm curious what the black folks who want Texas are going to do with them kids. You know, I'm real curious about them kids, the black folks in Texas, what they going to do about them kids. Because You know, so all of a sudden, because that's going to be the open door. You know, the black folks ain't going to want no wall. So that's going to be the open door. All the illegals that are coming through, Texas. Now what? Now what? Let's see the racism against, from the blacks to the Mexicans. Just think about that. And then, here's another thing that bothers the fuck out of me. Because this is what started this reparations thing. It's the whole Indian thing. I got a buddy of mine. Well, I mean, I just met him, but, you know, apparently he is the first and only true Native American historian. He is the only one that is actually allowed to be on the reservations and show pictures and tell stories and shit like that. Because, you know, you hear here and there's about it, but you don't really hear no in-depth, and you don't really see no deep in any kind of reservations. You know, people make movies and stuff or talk about it, but very few real deal historians with artifacts and shit like that are out there. So he's all for this whole land thing. So the first thing I started looking into, this is what brought me to it. When President Trump went to Mount Rushmore, everybody had a motherfucking fit. Oh my God. First of all, as a Trump supporter, I will say this. Dick move. Dick move, Prez.
Why?
Dick move. Because it was in a treaty a long, long time ago that we'd never set off no fireworks or nothing up there. You know, that was just, you know, we could light it up. It could be a tourist thing. But
no fireworks?
No fireworks.
Well, I don't understand
I don't understand it, but that's just the way it was, you know. So
the boom's gonna knock the faces off?
That's an old school, you know, law or whatever, or treaty. It was a treaty with the Indian people.
Okay.
So, I mean, that was a dick move for him doing that. You know, he could have did it a couple miles away, or at least, you know, a couple blocks down the street or some shit.
Or across the street.
You ain't have to do that shit right over their fucking head, dick. Anyways, so I started looking into this. First of all, there's these stone carvings all over, you know, that, what is that, South Dakota? North Dakota, South Dakota? There's all kind of stone carvings all over there. Mount Rushmore isn't the only one.
I think it's the North.
North Dakota?
North Dakota, I'm pretty sure.
Alright. So, I mean, Mount Rushmore isn't, you know, the biggest, you know, the only fucking stone carving. It's just a tourist thing. Now, nobody knows this, because I just found this out. And I haven't even heard my dude Jesse talk about this. Do you know that the Native Americans were offered, and this was, I think, like, this was when money was real money. This wasn't even way back in the day. I think this was before Mount Rushmore or right during some shit. Anyways, it don't fucking matter. They were offered $1.3 billion in compensation for that land that they built around Mount Rushmore on.
Well,
they got.
What did they do? Turn it down?
Yes.
Why?
Because that land is sacred to their country and their people and their ancestry.
What they used to do?
Really, bitch? You can't read a book? Y'all on reservation. Now I start looking into it. There's and this is what people like bringing up. Alcoholism is so high there on the reservation, and suicides is up on the reservation, and poverty and this and that. Get off the reservation!
Yeah, y'all can go buy a house.
You're not in another country. You know what it takes for you to get a real step in life?
Go out
Cross
to work.
that fucking border. It ain't even like you're crossing the Mexican border.
No, you can
or the
drive off
Canadian
it.
border. Yeah. Drive down the road.
We'll walk.
Tell Chief Wahoo that you're fucking leaving to go work at a Walmart. Boom, you can send your kids to local schools. You ain't got to fucking drink all the time. You can actually probably get some weed.
Yeah. Whatever you else
Get you
don't
a
want.
decent job.
Actually.
You ain't stepping over rattlesnakes.
Go to
Depending on
school.
where you live.
Yeah.
But this is America. You don't have to stay there. Nobody got an electric fence around that reservation.
No, you can walk on and walk off them. I've been to one before.
I don't get that. I don't. And now, they giving half of Oklahoma to the Indians.
What they gonna do with it?
All right, first of all,
Keep it the same, or they gonna fucking?
well, this is the
Wait.
thing, though. First of all, you got to look at it. Nobody is looking at the ramifications of this. First of all, when is this going to affect? Because that means Oklahoma just lost a shit ton of property tax.
Yeah.
Not only they're losing future property tax, but they have to give back all these Oklahomans if they can get them off their property.
What about them trying to kill you? Cause they got that guns. You ain't just gonna move me off my shit.
According to the government of Oklahoma,
You got to.
it belongs to the Indians. So now you gotta ask Chief Wampum if you can fucking live in your house.
And he said, "Fuck no, you gotta live on a reservation."
They might want to put a fucking eagle repository over your fucking backyard or some shit like that. You know, so they can make fucking chief hats.
Well, you ain't allowed to do that or that where you live at. Some shit. You're gonna be wild.
But if you just think about this though, I got the feeling, you know, and fuck it, if they want to play the game like this, they being dirty. With if I was the government, I'd play dirty too. I'd be like, okay, we're gonna give this land, half of Oklahoma, to the Native Americans. We ain't gonna say what tribe. We ain't gonna say which one or where or how, when, you know, none of that shit. This little piece of Oklahoma is gonna be for the Indians. Get the fuck over there.
Yeah.
Get the fuck over there. Get out of the rest of these states. Get out of the rest of these cities.
Y'all
This is your goddamn land. Fucking take it and get the fuck out.
They're gonna all be living on top of each other and shit. They're gonna look like fucking.
Oh,
They're gonna look
can't
like
do that.
Cuba. They're gonna look like
Can't
Cuba.
do that. Wait a minute. You wanted your land. Can't do that. You're just like, all right, if they want to give into this new black faction, they want Texas. Okay. Give them Texas. First of all, like I said, you're dealing with the influx of the illegals right there because guess what? The fucking wall ain't gonna go before you. It's gonna go behind you. You're gonna have to deal with the influx of the illegals. You're gonna have all these fucking little Mexican babies in the cages. What the fuck you gonna do there? And since you want it to be annexed, you know, you want to take away fucking hundreds of years of civil rights. You want to segregate yourself. You don't think after all this bullshit that's gone on, you made millions of fucking racists? These little kids are gonna be like, get the fuck in your goddamn state and stay there. That's what's gonna fucking happen. Because you guys want Texas. They're gonna group you guys all up. Okay, we'll give the black folks Texas. We ain't gonna say we're giving the guys with the guns Texas. We ain't gonna say we're gonna give these people up here Texas. We're giving the black folks Texas. Now get your land and get the fuck out. I mean, it sounds like a sick and fucking far-fetched idea, but that is the fucking generation that this horseshit that has went on the past few months created. This is going to be our great-grandkids, and our grandkids are going to start it. They didn't see police brutality. They didn't see any injustices. They saw a mob of black people fucking going at white people. That's it.
Yeah.
And what did these little black kids see? They saw a bunch of black folks acting a fool and stay away from the cops. They kill us. What?
Right.
But it's the government's fault. It's the white man keeping us down. No, it's dumb shit like this that takes away hundreds of years and the blood of so many activists, Hispanic activists, black activists, just activists, period. You just spit all over their fucking graves. But, you know, people want to shank a motherfucker for saying all lives matter. You ready to take a break?
Whatever you want to do?
We're going to take a break. I got my blood pressure.
Yeah, it got you going. Heart attack almost happened down here.
All right, so
Damn,
we'll
he
be
just
back.
straight up called you. Oh.
Ooh, kaboom.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.